Hello and welcome to a new episode of The Career Changers. Our guest today is Jeanne Omlor, coach for coaches and consultants, helping individuals to realize that everything is possible once they find their genius zone. She had many careers, explored and lived in different countries, traveled extensively in Asia, Africa, and Europe, and lived in Paris for 6 years, before finally finding her genius zone, the place where she could embody all of her training, abilities, and experience. It was then that, as a broke 54-year-old solo parent, she managed to crack the code of organic marketing and the beyond mindset. Today, we will inspire you with a conversation about her career and life change journey and how you can find your genius zone. Welcome, Jean. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks, Elisa. Nice to be here.
Let's start with your background. How did you start your professional life? Or better, what was your first job?
I went to college for fashion designs. My first job was as a fashion designer and also a buyer. I was working for a fashion jewelry company, doing their buying for them. So that was actually my first job, was buying. And then I was a designer, and I was a quality controller and a production manager.
Mm. And what was your dream job when you were a child? Was it related with fashion or something else?
It was actually acting, and I did become an actress later on.
Oh, so looking at your family background, what impact did they have on your education and career choices?
That's an interesting question because I feel like I just did my thing. I wasn't guide. My parents didn't tell us what to do or what we should do with our lives, so it was very self-guided
Hmm.
about what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I ask this question because sometimes someone comes from a background where parents have expectation on them, and
No.
some other people are more free to choose their path. Quite interesting to understand where we are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And so your career journey has been very diverse. And what happened after those first jobs? How did you progress in your professional life?
Certainly, I did have exciting times. So I was working in fashion for about a couple of years or so, maybe three, and I thought this is not really what I wanted. It seemed very vacuous. The people in the fashion industry in those days were probably not as well rounded as people are now. I really wanted to be an actress, so I took some acting classes, and then I really wanted to travel. So I started traveling and exploring the world. I think my main driver was just curiosity about other cultures. And that to me was exciting. I was like, wow, we have a whole world here. Why would I just stay in one place and work and have a career like most people? I just wanted to explore. And I didn't want to get a job and wait around. And then when I'm older, be able to travel. So I did a lot of exploration. And then I ended up living in Paris for 6 years. And that was exciting and not exciting. It was exciting, and then it wasn't exciting to have no money. I was acting there, and I became a translator and taught kids English, and I taught adults English. And then I worked for Cordon Bleu chef in the embassies doing her food design because I'm good at design. And yeah, so I guess it was exciting because it was scary and just living on the edge, really. And I don't think I give that back for anything because I've had another whole life that most professional people never have had. People just usually have a job, get married, have kids, have a job, move around. So yeah, I've definitely had a lot of lives.
I also think those experiences maybe become normal after you leave them, but for someone that never traveled or never went to work in another
Mm.
country, they may seem exceptional. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
so
it's
how,
definitely not normal. No.
yeah, exactly. And I guess they shape your view of the world as well.
They do. But living in different countries definitely takes you out of one place and one mindset and culture into another. And you know that because you're in England and you're Italian.
Yeah.
Definitely does change your perspective. Traveling does change your perspective. If you are traveling and it's not just going on vacation and staying in a hotel and you're traveling. So definitely, it's not for everybody. That's not, people like more stability. I dealt with a lot of instability in my
Mhm.
life
Yeah.
because I just, my mindset was, oh, I can just do what I want. I can just do something else. And so one of my friends was saying the other day, she said, I have never met anybody that has reinvented themselves as many times as you have.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did? You've had many careers, huh?
I met many people on the career changers.
Hmm. Great.
Yeah, for many people it seems exceptional, but there are so many people that change careers. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
More now. When I did it, it wasn't so normal.
Exactly. It's
Yes.
something that we are talking about it more, but I do believe that
Yes.
in reality the world is full of career changes because we all
Mm.
start at some point in our lives, and then our motivation, ambition, aspiration change.
Yeah, so it's interesting that all of that culminated when I became a coach. I could use all of my talents because I could do videos because I was an actress, but at first it was hard to do them because I wasn't acting. But I was a filmmaker as well, so I know about what content is media. So that was good. And then I worked on Wall Street as an executive recruiter at one point. So the sales aspect of that and interviewing people also helped. And it all culminated to helping me be a life and business coach to begin with. And I had to learn all the networking and all that, and that was good strategy, etc. But then it really helped me when I got online and I became an organic strategist online for coaches and consultants because all that I did helped make this work. And also the fact that I had coached actors. So I was already coaching. So the coaching, the media, being able to speak. I had had a kids blog at one point called Bellissima Kids.
Oh.
And it taught me, and it was well known. I just didn't make a lot of money with it because blogs were hard to make a lot of money, but taught me how to write every day. So all of that put me in a good position to what I'm doing now, which is helping people get clients online with no ads through organic social media marketing.
Mhm. And based on your experience, you're helping coaches and consultants and help them to realize that everything is possible. How do
Mm.
you do that?
When you show somebody something very simple and take all the complexity out of it and say, look, I've stripped this down. This is simple. This is what you do. And you can get from zero to having a high ticket client within weeks. They're astounded. And then it works. And then their minds are blown because we're always telling people how hard it is and how many steps and how many hoops you have to jump through and you have to pay your dues. I don't believe that. So when I get somebody who's never coached before, but they want to coach and they really want to help people and they'd be helping people for free anyway, and they really want to do it, I say, great, let's do this. Do I need a website? No. Do I need to run ads? No. Do I need funnels? No. Do I need this? No. You just got to learn certain things, which are figure out who you're helping, figure out what you're coaching on, what's the format, how much you're going to charge. We do that in one session. Then we help them find which platform they're going to be on. Then we help them with the content, how to do lead generation and sale. It's very simple.
Mm.
You just keep doing that over and over. And they're always trying to throw complexity. And I'm like, it's not complex. It's so simple. And then when they get these clients with doing a very simple system, despite what everybody else is telling them, their minds are blown and they're like, wow, I could do that over and over again. So we've helped almost 500 people with this very simple process. Yes, of course, you need coaching on it, but it's a simple process and you need coaching on the simplicity of how to do it, just the reps.
That's really interesting. And before reaching this point, you had to find your genius zone.
Mm.
So, what does the genius zone mean to you, and how did you discover yours?
I've done a lot of stuff, and a lot of it, I really had to work so hard, and you have to work hard. But then when I realized, wow, I'm really good at coaching people, and actually, I'm really good at creating offers for people. I can do it with my eyes closed now. My genius zone is also helping people to sell, to present, highlight their value, and sell. That's my genius zone. And that's what we're doing here. So it is so spot on for me. There's no struggle. It's just we just do it. We've done it hundreds of times and it works. So I'm definitely living in my genius zone, which is very refreshing because it creates flow. I'm not saying every single thing I do in my business I love because you can't love every single thing, but I do have some help. But I try to love everything by just hiring more people to do things that I don't love. But yeah, I'm just in my zone when I'm coaching people. It's just natural.
What practical steps can our listeners take to identify and cultivate their own genius zone?
You must try stuff and don't say, oh, I'm not good at that when it doesn't work right away. You've got to try stuff and stick with it. I wasn't good at marketing right away. I had to learn that. So I'm not saying that it just comes easy. Sometimes you get better at stuff and then it becomes your genius zone. Does that make sense? It's like somebody playing tennis, they have to take tennis lessons to
Yeah.
see if it's their genius zone later on. You don't go, oh, I had a lesson, I'm not good at it. It's not what I mean. You have to like it a little at least. And then you have to stick with it and do the reps and you get better and you go, wow, I've gotten into my genius zone. But if you're doing something that you do not like, you really don't like, probably not your genius zone. But then again, I hated marketing before and pretty good at it now.
Mm.
So I would say don't give up. Figure out what it is you think you want to do and give it a try, but give it a really good try. And then you can tweak as you go along.
Yeah, and I think when we are getting older, it becomes a little bit more challenging or difficult to try new things. And it's easier to say, okay, I tried, I cannot do it.
I disagree. I think age is something that we're always saying, oh, when you're older, when you're older. We keep saying that, then we're going to believe it. Personally, I have kept adapting. I'm going to be 60 years old this year, and I don't operate any differently. I don't go, oh, I'm not going to adapt anymore. I'm always trying new things. You know what? I tried wakeboarding when I was in Dubai in November, and I learned how to wakeboard in one session because I just wanted to. And they said, nobody learns how to wakeboard in one session. It's like a surfboard behind a boat. Okay. And you hold on. It's like water skiing with one instead of two.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people don't do that in one session. I had a few tries. I swallowed half the harbor, choking on
Oh,
water. But then I thought, I want to learn this now because I actually want to have the fun of wakeboarding. And I did it. And the people that were showing me how to do it on their boat, they said, we have had hundreds of people out trying to show them how to wakeboard. And you're the only one, excuse me, who learned in one session. I don't believe that. You can't do this, you can't do that. I was like, I want to do it. I want to adapt. So it's really about what you tell yourself. Now, I'm telling myself that I'm actually turning 40 this year. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm turning 40. I'm turning 40. I'm turning 40. I keep brainwashing myself. My health is getting better because I'm 40. Wait a minute. I'm looking at all my metrics because I do all sorts of metrics with my health. And actually, my age is technically 46. They do the age test.
I,
I'm trying to get that down to 40 this year. Yay, I'm turning 40. It's all in your mind. It really is. If we say, oh, when you get older, it's hard to make friends. That's not true. I'm making friends all the time. Good
no.
friends. Yeah. I'm learning new things. I'm learning how to invest. I'm doing this. So if you say to yourself, I'm getting old, you'll start showing more age the more you say that.
Mm. I guess that you are a very good example to follow then. Can you
I try to be a
well,
role
you
model.
are, and you're coaching other people. I think that's what they're learning from you. So, can you share any specific techniques or exercises that can help people uncover their genius zone if they never heard of this concept?
That's an interesting question. I don't think anybody's ever asked me that. I would write down all the things you think you want to do on a piece of paper. Write down all the things you think you want to do and try them. So I want to do that. Okay, I'm going to try it. You might not be good right away, but if you love it, then you'll probably stick with it and become good. Like, for instance, coaches, most coaches I know love coaching. They don't, a lot of them don't make a lot of money, but they love the coaching. So that's their genius zone to coach. So then we've got to teach them to market so they can be in their genius zone. And the marketing might not be their genius zone because usually it's not. Nobody wants to sell. But
Mhm.
that's okay. You don't say to yourself, I only do things in my genius zone. You do things so you can be in your genius zone. Does that make sense? So if you love coaching or being a consultant, but you don't know how to get clients, hire a coach that helps you with the part you're not great at so you then can practice your genius zone. Does that make sense? It's not trying to have a genius zone be everything because not everything is my genius zone. And I hire people to do those parts that aren't my genius zone because I don't love them. I might be okay at it, but I don't want to be okay at something. I want somebody that's great at it to do it for me.
I love
Like,
that you do things so that you can be in your genius zone.
yes, like I have assistants because I don't want to file things and email people. It's not my genius zone. I hate emailing actually.
Mm.
So I have an assistant and I just forward stuff. Please take care of this. Please take care of this. Because that's not my genius zone. I don't want to spend time doing stuff that's tedious. There's somebody, and she loves doing that stuff. A
Yeah.
bookkeeper. I'm not going to do my books. Why would I do that? I hire a bookkeeper. I'm not going to do my own taxes, not my genius zone. It helps run my business, but of course I have an accountant and a bookkeeper. And then my assistant helps the bookkeeper, so I don't have to do anything because I hate that. So I'm not like, oh, I really hate bookkeeping, but I'm going to do it myself. For a while I did. I did not like it at all. Yeah, figure out what you're really not good at, that you really don't want to get good at, hire that out. If you want to be a coach and you love coaching, then you got to get help with learning how to do your own marketing at first because you cannot abdicate that. You can't get somebody to do your marketing before you know how to do your own marketing. That is later on, and you give them bits and pieces, but you're still going to have to do some of it. Like I do my sales calls still because people like seeing me on a sales call. I'll get a little bit of help, but I don't mind doing it and I'm really good at it. When it's too much, I'll say, hey, you know what? I need you to help me with the sales. But I'm not abdicating. I'm not saying, oh, I'm just going to try to plug people in. And that's the last thing that you should let go of is your sales calls.
Mhm. And you mentioned about writing or trying new things, trying a different activity for someone that want to discover their genius zone.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you give to someone who actually is feeling stuck in their career and maybe they find it even difficult to think about what they would like to do?
I'm huge on getting help. Then they should get a coach, a career coach, or if they don't know what they want to do, there's a lot of career coaches that can help you go through and say, let's no, I'm not a career coach, so I don't do that. But there are coaches that say, let's just look at all the possibilities, but get help because going around and around in your head forever, you're wasting your life. Just pay somebody. I pay coaches for everything. I have a personal trainer. I have a tennis coach. We have a coach that's helping my daughter get her scholarships. I have business coaches, mentors, investment coaches. I pay coaches for everything because I don't want to waste time. I want to just get better. Why would I learn how to do tennis on my own? I can just get this great coach. Why would I try to work out and build muscle when I can get a great trainer? Why would we try to figure out how to get scholarships when these people just know how to do it? So, and with business coaching, of course, I want another person looking at what I'm doing. Make sense? So get help. Stop being cheap with your life and get help so you can figure stuff out and get to the point where you're happier and more fulfilled because figuring out what you really want to do in life does make you happier and fulfilled. And that's what we all want, is to be happy and fulfilled at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, definitely. And in your experience, what are the biggest challenges people face when they are looking to find their genius zone?
That they just don't know where to start, that they're bored and they're like, I'm stuck in a rut and I don't know what to do. I don't know how this is going to work. It's really just about taking action and experimenting with stuff and not being afraid. And people are so afraid. What if this doesn't work? That's okay. What if it doesn't work? That's okay. What? It's okay. Yep, it's okay. People are so afraid of failing and taking a misstep. That's not how you grow in life, is by worrying. Kids, when they're learning how to walk, fall down so many times. They're not afraid of, oh, gee, if I get up, I'm going to fall. They just keep falling. That's how they learn how to walk. If they didn't do that, they would not how to learn how to walk, and then they wouldn't know how to run and do all sorts of stuff with their bodies, which makes us wonderful human beings that we can do so much with our bodies. It's amazing what we can do with our bodies. Sports, gymnastics, swimming, you name it, walking, running, cycling, dancing. So we have to stop being so afraid of being afraid. People are afraid of their own shadow, afraid of spending money, afraid of losing money, afraid that it might not work, afraid somebody's going to think they're foolish, afraid that they think they're foolish, afraid of failing, afraid of success. There's so many fears. People have to just say, look, this might not work. And so what? What's the worst thing that could happen? You could lose some money. So what? We all lose money. But guess what? You figured out that you want to do that and you might actually find your new career. Or you'll say, at least I could eliminate that because now I don't have to keep thinking that I want to be a something. Now, some people spend their lives thinking they want to do something, never trying, and in the end, it's not what they wanted anyway, but they spent years thinking that they wanted to do it. I coached a woman like that once. She said, I want to be a Reiki master. She was also a nurse, coached her, and she started getting clients. It was working. And she said, Jeanne, I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much. First of all, it worked. And she goes, second of all, you made me realize that the thing that I thought I wanted for 20 years, I don't want. And she said, I never would have known that if I did not coach with you because now I can let it go. This is not the life I want. I like being a nurse, but I had it in my mind for 20 years. You just want to be a Reiki master. She goes, you showed me that I can do that and I don't want to. She said, that is a gift. And I said, yes, it is. Now, if she had not hired me to help with this discovery of what she thought she wanted, she would have gone on for the rest of her life thinking, I just want to be a Reiki master and been dissatisfied with her life. So that's one person I've ever coached where we had that different kind of success, which was the uncovering of what she really wanted. And she was so grateful. She goes, I am so grateful to you because you let me be at peace.
That's so important. And for anyone else that is listening, to avoid wasting 20 years thinking that they
Yeah,
want to do
thinking.
something, just try now and see if that's the things you really like or really want. So, based on your experience, you went from being broke at 54-year-old and be
Mhm.
a solo parent. What type of advice would you give to anyone who is finding themselves in a similar situation?
The same thing, get help. Just get help. There are people that just having another person's point of view. When I said traveling gives you a different perspective, other people give you a different perspective. I'm always asking questions and asking people to give me their point of view because I know I don't know everything and I'm me in my head. And no matter how smart we are, having somebody else say, that's interesting, but from my point of view, here's what I think. And that's a lot of what coaching is. So, again, just be courageous that this is your life. Your life is precious. Now, people disrespect their lives all over the place. I see them wasting time. I see them and I'm thinking, wow, a whole life, so precious. Then it's gone. You've let your life just pass you by. What a waste. We will never get another life here on this earth. We'll have another life if you believe in the afterlife, but here on earth, why would you waste a day of your life? I don't mean you have to be working all the time because that's not a waste, because it's not all about working. But I'm saying, why would you not create the adventure that this life can be and make it one big, wonderful adventure? That's how I see it. Again, not everything is fun because not everything is fun, but my thing is I try to do everything with pure joy now. Okay, how can I make this with pure joy, even if it's just folding my clothes? Or you can turn it around and not go, okay, I'm doing this to get over it. Now, a lot of people spend their lives going to work to just get through the day. That means they're deleting most of their life. Just let's just get through this day and, blah, and then we get to the evening. Then we do it again. It's wasting your precious lives. And all of us, every single life to me is just as worth another life. We're all human. And when people start respecting their lives for the gold that it is, then their lives would change. They say, okay, look, I only have a certain amount of time. What is it I really want to do? Let's go find that. Let's get help. Let's honor instead of going, oh, I don't want to spend the money and because you're not worth it. Yes, you are. If you're not going to spend money on yourself, what are you going to spend it on?
Right. Yes, we're reaching the end of this episode. The time went really fast. But a last question for you. You gave lots of advices to anyone that needs to find their genius zone, for anyone that is feeling stuck. But if
Hmm.
you could give yourself a piece of advice, what would you say to your younger self?
Um, I would say have more confidence because you're more than enough, because we all have insecurities. I would say you're more than enough. Just stop being so insecure.
Thank you, Jeanne, so much for joining us today and sharing your inspirational career story and wisdom with our listeners.
You are so welcome. It's great to be here.
Thank you. And the last message for our listeners, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and tune in next week for a new inspirational episode of The Career Changers. Thank you.